representatives warns that new Naira note scarcity will jeopardize smooth conduct of 2023 polls. Journalists tasked on professionalism to rank of free electoral contest. From the foreign scene, South Africa defends joint military exercise with Eastern powers despite Washington's criticism. Good evening and welcome to the news at 7. I am Akim Abodunde. The Federal High Court sitting in Akure has nullified the candidacy of the All Progressives Congress standard bearer for Akoko Southeast Southwest Federal Constituency in the February 25 general elections, Mr. Adegboyega Adefarati. The court declared the party's primary election in the federal constituency null and void. Mr. Segun Ategbole, an aspirant in the primary election, had approached the court alleging infractions and seeking to be declared winner. The court held that APC has no candidate for House of Representatives election in the constituency, as no valid primary election was held by the party. It also restrained APC from conducting any primary election, as the window had closed based on provisions of the Electoral Act 2022. The court equally restrained INEC from accepting the name of the third defendant, the plaintiff, for any name whatsoever from the APC. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress in Ondo State says it is taken aback by the Federal High Court judgment in Akure today, nullifying the candidacy of Mr. Adegboyega Adefarati for the Akoko Southeast Southwest Federal Constituency election next week, Saturday. In a statement by the APC Publicity Secretary in the state, Alex Kalejaye, the party expressed concern over the development and had directed its lawyers to file a stay of execution of the judgment. The statement assured party faithful that the APC will challenge the judgment at the appeal court with a view to securing a favorable judgment. APC called on its members and residents of the federal constituency to stay calm and allow peace to reign. The All Progressives Congress has released its timetable for the Imo, Kogi and Bayelsa governorship primaries as it fixed the nomination form fee as 15 million naira. The party fixed April 10 this year for the governorship primaries in Imo and Bayelsa, but no date was fixed for Kogi. In a notice, APC's National Organizing Secretary Suleiman Adgungu called on interested persons to pick up the forms at the party's National Secretariat in Abuja. The tenure of governors of Imo, Kogi and Bayelsa states will expire in January and February next year, and the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has fixed November 11 this year as election day in the 3 states. Chief Imams in the 18 local government areas of Ondo State are dedicating today and next Friday's Jumat services to pray for the peaceful conduct of the general elections. The chairman of the State League of Imams and Alfas, Alhaji Ahmed Aladishawe, who is also the chief imam of Owo, who gave the directive, said the prayer became very imperative as God's intervention is crucial before, during and after the elections. He sympathized with Nigerians and the hardship from the Naira redesign policy implementation, urging political leaders to rise to the occasion. Students in private and public schools in Ondo State will observe the mid-term break for the second term next Friday, 24th of February. According to a circular from the State Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, the break should have been observed today, but was postponed because of next week's general elections. The circular said schools will resume from the midterm break on Monday, February 27. Some residents of Ore in Odigbo local government area of Ondo State today blocked the busy Ore-Benin Expressway to register their displeasure over the scarcity of Naira notes. The protesters made bonfires on both sides of the expressway, making it impossible for vehicular movement, which also resulted in a heavy gridlock on the axis. Some of the protesters who spoke with newsmen said Naira notes scarcity was taking a toll on them and their families. They also lamented their inability to access cash from banks' automated teller machines, ATMs, and were not allowed into the banking halls. In Lagos State, the police command has brought the unrest in Mile 12 axis under control. Other areas that witnessed civil disobedience were Ketu, Ojota, and Ikorodu, as scores of demonstrators blocked roads and made bonfires. Passers-by made social media posts and videos reporting attacks on commuters, private vehicles, and government-owned buses. Police Public Relations Officer in the state, Benjamin Hundeyin, provided the update in reaction to comments about the violence and apprehension by residents. In the meantime, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has appealed to the people of Lagos State to avoid protests over the cash swap policy. He said government is working to ease the sufferings occasioned by the rejection of old notes and scarcity of the new notes in the state. He told aggrieved Lagosians to allow the Supreme Court rule on the controversial matter, sympathizing with residents for the hardship caused by the policy. Sanwo-Olu, in a statement by the Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Gbenga Omotosho, said the state government had noted with concern the protests in some parts of the state today, stressing that the state has since joined the legal dispute in the interests of the people. The police command in Ogun State has warned protesters against disrupting public peace on the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway. The police spokesperson in the state, Abimbola Oyeyemi, gave the warning while speaking with newsmen in Ota. Oyeyemi said the people had the right to protest, but they should not disrupt public peace. The spokesman explained that all area commanders of the police had been deployed to maintain and restore peace on the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway. Angry protesters today blocked the Sangwater, Ifo, Itori highways on the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway over the refusal of petrol stations to collect the old 500 and 1,000 naira notes. The Kaduna State Governor, Nasir El-Rufai, has described the current scarcity of naira notes as part of an alleged plot to disrupt the forthcoming general elections to ensure that an interim government takes over. The governor made the allegation in a state broadcast. He alleged that the development was meant to ensure that the presidential candidate of the ruling All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, and other candidates of the party lose. He claimed that those who lost out in the party's primaries were behind the plot. Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General of Zamfara State, Junaidu Aminu, has condemned President Muhammadu Buhari's decision to extend the validity of only old 200 naira notes for 60 days, pointing out that the action was a contempt of court. Aminu told newsmen that Buhari's action was not constitutional and was a contempt of the court, lamenting that the action was sub judice and is already before the court. The commissioner further explained that the state government has already filed a motion informing the court that the Attorney General of the Federation and President Buhari did not comply with the court's order. Protest has allegedly broken out in the Diobu and Mile 1 areas of Port Harcourt, Rivers State. According to reports, banks have been set on fire with people out on the roads protesting the Naira redesign policy implementation. The pictures show banks being set on fire by angry protesters while men are marching on the streets of the state protesting. Residents living in the areas have been advised to stay indoors due to gunshots being heard. The House of Representatives has told President Muhammadu Buhari that the cash swap policy, which has subjected Nigerians to serious hardship, may affect the smooth conduct of the general elections. The House said the government must do more to mitigate the suffering of Nigerians occasioned by the policy, which it said was unpopular. Chairman of the House Ad Hoc Committee on Redesigned Currency and House Leader Al-Hassan Dogowa made the position known in a statement released to newsmen in Abuja. Dogowa noted that the committee told the president at a meeting that disallowing the use of 500 and 1,000 naira notes will not help the suffering masses. You're watching the news at 7 on OSRC television. You can also watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook, OSRC TV Ondo. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at OSRC TV Ondo. The news continues shortly. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us on the news at 7. In the last 6 years, Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu has been making personal sacrifice of living in a 2-bedroom guest chalet with his family, which does not befit the status of the governor and the state. Many life-changing projects, including roads, water supply schemes, mini-grids, and many others have been initiated and commissioned by the Akeredolu administration since assuming office in 2017. In the second part of this special report, Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole x-rays the need for the state to have a befitting Governor's Lodge.
Quest for a new Governor's Lodge did not begin with the present administration, as previous government had made spirited attempts but toyed with the idea.
But here you can sit around here,
That structure called Governor's Lodge was inherited from the colonial masters. I recall that the first time any change was effected on that main Governor's Lodge was by Governor Olabode George, who she built a new structure befitting of that era. He was the first to change what the colonial masters left. Pajashi lived in that small structure left by the colonial masters. Successive governors lived there until Governor Bode George came and built that what had now become is no longer there now. Governor Miko attempted to build a 3-floor Governor's Lodge, which didn't quite succeed. But for Governor Akeredolu, his own style is to think through every project he wants to embark upon. And for Governor Lodge, even though, like you said, it is coming towards the end of his tenure, thank God he will be able to complete it before he leaves.
During his 8-year tenure, former Governor Olusegun Mimiko upgraded what was meant to be the First Lady's office to the Governor's Lodge. That was completed, but was later jettisoned by the then Governor when serious structural defects were noticed in the building.
no Governor's Lodge was built by the last administration. The last administration converted an office for Governor's Lodge. Yes, well made out, but he suffered his own fault. The administration knew before that when he was handed over, he mentioned to me the defect.
Go there, go and see where the governor is living now. The governor is living in presidential lodge, 2-bedroom flat. Is that a befitting one for Ondo State status? Look at our sister's state, Ekiti State. That are metamorphosed from Ondo State. They have befitting governor's lodge. As I speak now, we have about 2 years more, and we can't finish that project now less than 4 months or 5 months time. All things being equal. So many people will believe that if I'm not using it for 4 years, 3 years, I went back on it. But Mr. Governor believes that we plant a tree. Whosoever might benefit from the shade, he doesn't care.
Many of the things he's doing, we have to leave him. The government house we are talking about, even if it's completed today, if he starts living there today, we will only be there for 2 years.
The project manager, Mr. Eli Saib, says the project will be another shining legacy that the present administration will bequeath to the state.
This project is very unique because of his idea. The imagination of the architect is for this project, and with the coordination between the architect and His Excellency to get this big project and final the concept of this project is very good. It's like taking Ondo State from phase to phase. We are doing our best to deliver this project with very good quality and for a lifetime duration.
With just over 2 years left in office, the Akeredolu administration is determined to change the fortunes of the state and its people for better by putting in place an edifice that spotlights the state. Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
In a bid to ensure sustained peace at the grassroots, the Ondo State Local Government Service Commission has organized a 3-day workshop for political office holders and top government functionaries in the local government administration of the state. The workshop, which has as its theme Management of Chieftaincy Matters for Functionaries of Ondo State Local Government Service, is aimed at sharpening the knowledge of the officers towards addressing challenges faced on chieftaincy matters and conflicts resolution. Joy Pius was there and now reports.
The local government system is the closest government to the people at the grassroots. To this end, the Ondo State Local Government Service Commission organized a 3-day workshop on management of chieftaincy matters for functionaries of Ondo State Local Government Service towards addressing challenges militating against chieftaincy issues in the state. The Permanent Secretary, Local Government Service Commission, Adenike Ogunshola, said the training will further expose the officers to the detailed operations of the chieftaincy institution.
Putting together this workshop, which is geared towards educating both the political appointees and the bureaucrats alike on this very important aspect of local government administration. Mr. Chairman, the convocation of this workshop is not a misplaced priority, but very timely, given the exigencies of time and events.
Declaring the workshop open, Ondo State Commissioner, Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Amidu Takuro, and Chairman, Local Government Service Commission, Femi Idris, noted that the workshop is a veritable platform to awaken and sensitize the officials to their responsibilities at the local government level as it affects the installation of community heads in Ondo State.
The theme for this workshop, Management of Chieftaincy Matters for the functionaries of Ondo State Local Government Service, is concise and embedded with so much subsection, which obviously will sharpen the understanding of the participants about the challenges faced in handling chieftaincy matters.
The importance of this workshop at this crucial period in our society cannot be overemphasized, as it will afford key players the opportunity to set limits and put the issue under proper and appropriate perspective.
Delivering a paperwork on the theme of the event, Chairman, Rent Tribunal Court, Ondo State, Ade Akimbosade, harped on peculiarities attached to the appointment and selection of recognized chiefs under the customary law.
Although it may be different from Ileluji or Odibo, depending on the peculiarity of each town and their history, it is how the town itself is created that you cannot go how the Oba is being made. But essentially, the line thing between that is go through them is the fact that if our oracle has to be consulted before an Oba is made. In the time past, under the customary law, if our oracle is essential.
Participants were charged to put to use the knowledge acquired towards repositioning the local government for effective service delivery. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
The leadership of the University of Medical Sciences, UNIMED, says it is ready to work towards becoming one of the leading universities in the world. The Vice-Chancellor, Professor Adeshegun Fatusi, made the promise during a community familiarization dinner in Akure. Omoriola Ngweji has details.
Since the approval of the affiliation of the Ondo State School of Nursing and Midwifery in Akure to the University of Medical Sciences, UNIMED, efforts have been on to ensure full integration. Among the efforts is this community familiarization dinner to keep residents updated on activities on the campus, as well as open doors of investments and partnerships to members of the public. Vice-Chancellor Professor Adeshegun Fatusi said the institution with its effective management will soon be on the global map, competing favorably with counterparts all over the world.
We are about to unveil a program that's going to start in March, the training of community midwives and community nurses. We have been approved working with the state government to train 150 of those. No, that 150 is not the 150 I've talked about. The 150 I've talked about is the BSc program. Now we have a new approval to train 150 community nurses and midwives. And we are starting that in March here on this campus.
According to him, infrastructure are on ground, including a world-class online and distant learning center and a center for continuity education that will run pre-degree programs, postgraduate, and other professional programs.
We are accredited to admit 75 nursing students a year. That was last year. As of today, the Nursing Ministry and Nursing Council, impressed by the amount of resources we are putting in, have increased us to 150 today.
Pro-Chancellor of the institution, Professor Ayodele Arowojolu, called for collective efforts to move the citadel of learning forward.
I want to appeal to everybody here. Tell your brothers and sisters, your sons and daughters, wherever they are, abroad, in Nigeria, in the north, in the south, that is our own Ondo State, and we need assistance and we should develop it properly.
Other dignitaries, including Deji of Akure, Obalade Toyibo Aladelusi, represented by Asai of Akure, Shola Adegbomire, lauded the project and pledged their commitment to achieve the desired result.
KBC has been a very good supporter of this great institution. People like myself and others will not see this project as being too difficult for us to contribute.
That master plan is going to change significantly. We spoke with the investors that we will have land for them in UNIMED.
It will bring investors from all parts of the world. It will generate additional revenue for the state government and of course for the University of Medical Sciences, Ondo.
It's been 5 years since the administration of the institution was handed over to UNIMED under the pioneer Vice-Chancellor, Professor Friday Okonofua. Omoriola Ngweji, Osrc News.
As the clock ticks towards the general elections, veterans in the media industry have again reminded professionals in Ondo State to uphold the tenets of the profession. At a reunion organized by the NTA Akure Pensioners Forum, members enjoined journalists to use the media, being the fourth estate of the realm, to set agenda for successful polls, peace and societal development. Otobot Jim reports.
An atmosphere of joy at the NUJ Press Center Akure as members of the Nigerian Television Authority Akure Pensioners Forum reunited after many years of not laying eyes on one another. In his welcome address, the facilitator, Adefunke Okewu, said it became necessary as there was no better way of exchanging pleasantries.
So you cannot say for 30, 40 years I don't see each other, 20 years I don't see each other. But today we can communicate. That's why we are here, to keep the friendship on going. It's a camaraderie kind of thing that see, let us keep on enjoying life. We are still alive. We are grateful that we are still alive. Some of them are gone.
Chairman on the occasion and former NTA General Manager Ade Ayeni lauded organizers of the event. Mr. Ayeni, who was also a former managing director of Osrc, spoke on the presidential election, tasking media professionals to ensure that ethical standards in news reportage are strictly adhered to for peace and development.
Professionals in the industry to ensure that they are not biased, they are not partisan, they are punctual wherever they are assigned to duty, and they should be faithful to whatever they are covering. You know, this is a very, very important occasion. These are not times for equipment to fail. These are not times for people to run away from duty. No, the driver didn't come on time. Please go on to do. Please mind your safety too.
Some of the members, including Kayode Afolabi, Joalade Adenike, and Grace Ajibuwa, expressed appreciation to God for reuniting in good health after many years. They also enjoined journalists to always use investigative methods to ensure factual and accurate reporting so as not to create friction before, during, and after the elections.
It's been so exciting. Some of these people I have not seen in the last 40 years. And seeing them today is really very exciting, and I'm really very privileged to have had this opportunity. It's a very unique one.
And they should report well. They should report the facts. No addition, no subtraction. Because during this election, everything is dicey. So they should not report anything that could trigger uproar in society. I'm feeling fine, and I'm thankful to Almighty God, because it can only be God. Those that we've been seeing for years, some like 15-20 years, today we are gathered together celebrating and rejoicing in the Lord. Most of us have died, but God spared our life. So we return all the glory and honor to Almighty God. I'm very happy to be amongst my people that will work together. We're talking about almost 40 years and more. We were all very young together, so it's so interesting and very, very pleasant.
High points of the event including health check, cultural dance, and presentation of certificates of honor to some veterans. Otobotji, Osrc News.
Moving to the foreign scene, South Africa has defended its joint military exercise with Russia and China, saying the move is purely for national security. The naval drills, which kicked off today, coincide with the first anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The drills have been heavily criticized by the U.S. 80-year-old U.S. President Joe Biden has been declared healthy and fit for duty, the White House physician has said after the physical examination of the U.S. president, whose health has been in focus amid his expected run for a second term. White House physician Kevin O'Connor, in a summary of the health examination, said the president remains fit for duty and to fully execute all of his responsibilities without any exemptions. And elsewhere, the news at 7, another look at the major stories. The Federal High Court sitting in Akure has nullified the candidacy of the APC standard bearer for Akoko Southeast Southwest Federal Constituency in the February 25 general elections. The House of Representatives has told President Buhari that the cash swap policy, which has subjected Nigerians to serious hardship, may affect the smooth conduct of the general elections. That's it on the news at 7. Thank you for being a part of it. Good evening.